Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast with Grindberg and bigz. I am bigz. He is Grindberg. This is the Saturday Injury Show. Today we heard about Jonathan Taylor out. We heard about Jerome Ford out. Um, Less of an injury apocalypse this week, but still, my fantasy lineups are pretty wrecked by injuries. How about yours, Grindberg?
Yeah. This list is not getting any shorter. It's getting longer, and some guys are getting back to health. So hopefully that is a sign of things to come in the future here. So without further ado, let's get this party
No more
started. Let,
ado.
let
Cut with the ado. I don't
all
want
right,
any more ado.
all right. Without Let's get going. All right. Let's talk about the game that is going to be on Sunday morning in London. The New England Patriots at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ramondre Stevenson with that foot injury, questionable status, looking like he's going to play. It looks like the final report that I saw today, he practiced in full. So those Antonio Gibson managers that were hoping to see, him make a huge impact against that. Swiss cheese of a defense that they call the Jacksonville Jaguars. It looks like Ramondre might be the guy there. What's your thoughts on that situation? If Ramondre does play full, are you set him and forget him?
I mean, I watch our show, and I know you watch our show. We record
Mhm.
them together, and I know everybody out there in Fantasyland. I see you. You watch our show too, and you saw our starts and sits show. And in that starts and sits show, when we were talking about Drake May, I was talking about the phenomenon of Drake May opening up the offense and providing Ramondre Stevenson with the efficiency that he's been missing. So a healthy Ramondre is a fully back Ramondre. There
Yes.
is there is another idea though, and that is Drake May is a competent quarterback, unlike Jacoby
Hmm.
Brissett. Antonio Gibson, converted wide receiver, coming out of the backfield, all of a sudden he is a candidate for target. So keep your eye on Antonio Gibson. He might have a bigger role in this game too.
Yeah. And some more news on the other side of the ball. We have another injury to a running back, Travis Etienne, that hamstring. He's been questionable. Looks like he's going to play, and that's good news for fantasy managers that have. Travis Etienne shares. They've been a little bit disappointed. If you listen to our show, the PAT yesterday, we talked about Travis Etienne with Schultze and the situation with, Tank Bigsby, Dearness Johnson, all that backfield in general. We're not too worried about Travis Etienne long term.
Correct. Not worried at all.
Okay.
Worried
Uh,
about Travis Etienne. Not
yeah.
not worried about his job being taken over by Tank Bigsby.
There you go. All right, Buffalo. They've got an injured backfield right now. James Cook with that toe. We didn't play last week. Ray Davis came in and filled in very, very well, and Ray Davis popped up on the injury report today. So looks like James Cook might be able to go, but Ray Davis is now in the question mark situation here. How do you attack this backfield? Their bigs moving forward.
I stay away from all Buffalo Bills this weekend.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I mean, with the change of the guard, even with Amari Cooper there, you think it's going to take some time for him to get acclimated with that offense?
You would think. I feel like if you have Josh Allen, you have to play him, but he is likely to have another down week. And then if James Cook is playing, he's obviously going to be in my
Hmm.
lineup. But
Yeah.
everybody else across the board, uh, Ray Davis, like I mean, if they make the same kind of holes that they made against the Jets, that's I mean, uh, it can happen, but it won't happen on my team.
Yeah. All right, Jerome Ford, we talked about that earlier. He is out, but Cleveland Browns will look like they're getting Nick Chubb back potentially. He's questionable, but it is leaning towards him playing. Look like he, is back in the lineup. Tread carefully. We talked about that yesterday. We're not sure what's going to happen with Nick Chubb. We're hoping to see, him bounce back after this injury, but it's really hard to see that happening right out of the gate here, right, Biggs?
If I'm the defensive coordinator of whatever team is playing against the Browns, I'm looking at that Cleveland Browns offense and drooling. They just got rid of Amari Cooper. So I'm going to put 9 in the box and make Deshaun Watson and Jerry Judy and Elijah Moore and Jamari Thrash and David beat me while I'm trying to completely take out and eliminate Nick Chubb.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%. I mean, what? There's no other game plan there. Might open up the passing game a little bit with Nick Chubb around, but
What
they're
does
gonna
that mean if Deshaun Watson
exactly.
can't get the ball to people?
Well, exactly, or make a read fast enough. Like, I mean,
Right.
he's been in the pocket with so much time, and then all of a sudden it's collapsed, and he hasn't gotten the ball out, and he's on his ass. So, it's been the story of the year here. Let's move on to Devon Achane. Looks like he's playing. He passed concussion protocol, so it looks like he's been cleared. Still not a huge fan of this situation. The Miami Dolphins don't look very good without Tua, so I'm gonna tread cautiously, but Anthony Richardson looked like he's coming back. Jonathan Taylor out, and we got a lot of banged up wide receivers in that room as well. So, what's your take on this game there, Biggs? Any sort of advice for fantasy managers looking in this one for some points?
I'm continuing to sit Miami wide receivers, but if I have Achane, I'm playing him just
Yep.
because the chances of him breaking a couple larger runs, the chances there, and I've heavily invested in him if I have him. On the other side of the ball, I'm still going with Josh Downs and Anthony Richardson. Not so much on Michael Pittman. Maybe I'd throw Alec Pierce in there as like a third flex or a second flex, but that's about it.
All right. Yeah, I know this matchup here is a tough. I mean, Miami plays wide receivers really tough. And we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I like that situation that you pointed out. Now, Houston at Green Bay. Green Bay's got a lot of banged up wide receivers here. Looks like they're all going to play with maybe Dontavian Wicks having the most question mark around his name. Jaden Reed with his ankle. Dontavian Wicks with his shoulder, and Christian Watson with his ankle. You mentioned it earlier on one of our shows this week that you like Christian Watson as an upside play here. I like it as well. If he ends up playing in there, I think that he's the guy that might get the targets in this one. What's your take here other than, we talked about this pretty in depth on the Pulse yesterday about, this Green Bay Packer offense. We both are very high on Jaden Reed, and the other ones are kind of just dart throws at this stage.
I'm benching everyone and playing Tucker Kraft.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you here.
So Houston gives up 15 points per game to slot receivers and 18.3 points to wideouts. So I may start Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson. I think they might have an opportunity to break one. I'm not looking for a whole lot. So again, we're talking like second flex, third flex spot.
Yeah.
But make sure your alphas are in your wide receiver spots. And then if you want to play around with some matchups, it's not a terrible slot matchup. It's not a great slot matchup, but it's not a terrible slot matchup.
Yeah. Now, TJ Hawkinson, that ACL recovery, he's questionable this weekend, but this is the most optimistic fantasy managers have been about the return of TJ Hawkinson, and I think he will slide at. What's that?
2 weeks.
You think it's 2 weeks still away? So he's another week out, but he's so close. And those fantasy managers that waited on tight end and decided to do a combination of Hawkinson and maybe a guy like Tucker Kraft are probably looking pretty good right now, if you ask me. So Hawkinson on the return soon, and hopefully he's back. And I think that that Minnesota Vikings offense is gonna really open up even more so with Hawk back in the lineup. What are your thoughts there?
How about some of us who have Ingram and Hawkinson on like 12 teams?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good. That's a yeah. Hopefully they could stay healthy there.
Yeah.
The New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas Goedert, he is out for the game. Malik Neighbors is back. Thank goodness for that. We are all excited to see what he can bring. He pulled up with another injury. It looked like, I think it's an ankle or something like that. On top of his concussion, but he's cleared concussion protocol, and they're easing him back in. So hopefully, full go for Malik Neighbors. And
I think he had a groin.
was it a groin? Okay.
I think so.
So that's something that he'll definitely be able to play through, and hopefully definitely not hinder his performance too much, because I think we, all of us with Malik Neighbors shares, are really excited to have him back.
Look out, Philly, because this is a divisional game with Malik Neighbors, Wandale in the middle, Daniel Jones on a mission. I yeah, I'm I don't bet on spreads and stuff, but if I did, I'd likely be taking the Giants with the points in this one. And Grant Calcaterra, tight end, stepping in for Philly. You
Mm-hmm.
might throw him in your lineup, and or Johnny Wilson, who's essentially a tight end but playing as a slot receiver. He's a wide receiver designation, but he's like tight end build, and he could be an option too in deep leagues.
Totally. Yeah, I like that call, Biggs. All right, let's move on to the Las Vegas Raiders and the
We
LA
don't need to
Rams.
do that. We
Well, Jacoby Myers with his ankle might miss another game. I'm going to turn to you to get a little bit more of an update there. But Cooper Cup also looking like he could return to action here. I think he's a pretty good start. But like you mentioned, the Vegas Raiders are not a great matchup to wide receivers. So if you got Cup, you got to start him, I'd say, because you're waiting. But what's your take on Jacoby Myers? Is he going to play this week, you think, Biggs?
I hope so. I'm not really sure. I kind of I mean I haven't seen anything today. Uh, but as far as Cooper Cup is concerned, what we're looking at is a matchup where the middle of the field is basically cut off by the Raiders defense. They allow 9.4 points per game to slot receivers, 23 to the outside. So if Cooper Cup is running those outside in breaking routes, he should be okay. But the Raiders defensive backs are kind of underrated. So um, I don't know if I'd want to get it. I mean, obviously it's Cooper Cup. If if he's on your team, you
Yeah.
play him.
Um, Carolina at Washington, Deontay Johnson, questionable. He didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. I don't have the update from Friday's injury report. Do you know if he got on the field there today?
He was limited in practice today.
So that's a good sign. I think they were gonna rest him, veteran his day, but the fact he got on the field, I think he's got a really good shot of playing now. Had he sat out Friday's practice, I'd say that's a doubtful sign. But what do you think here, Biggs?
Uh, I'm monitoring it closely. If he doesn't
Mm,
play, I'm throwing Xavier Liga in there.
yep.
I'm playing Liga in other leagues if I have the slot open or the flex spot open, um, and
And
apparently,
you're stuck. Sorry,
and
go
I'm
ahead.
starting Deontay if he goes.
Yeah, and you're starting every commander, Kerry McLaurin, Brian Robinson Jr., Jaden Daniels. They're all smash
Yes,
plays this week against the Carolina Panthers. So, yeah, get your commanders in the game. Not so much to report about Kansas City, San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey is looking like he's still out a couple of weeks still, but Jordan Mason looks like he's a full go. That's good news for 49er fans and fantasy managers, with Jordan Mason getting to maybe get another 1 or 2 weeks out of him while he's still very valuable there.
bad news for everybody that listened to us on our waiver wire show saying to pick up Isaac Garendo just in case. But now you can go ahead and drop Isaac Garendo.
Yep.
Also, Myers is doubtful. Antonio Pierce is hopeful.
So are the Raider Nation, or some of you.
No,
Some of you are not even hopeful, eh? No,
nope.
not even there. All right, let's keep on trucking here.
We still get
Rashad
the
White.
Chiefs twice. We still get the Chiefs twice, and we're already 2-4. If we manage to win every other game, our best chance is going 9-2.
But the Chiefs are like, that's not a game where you could just say, the favorite is the favorite in those games. The Raiders always play the Chiefs really, really hard. Doesn't matter where they go, and we know what happened on Christmas Day last year. So a good spanking is probably in order at some point this year for the Chiefs. It's just I had the Raiders circled at beating them this year, so I still think that's true. So I'm a little bit more hopeful about your team than you are.
I had the Raiders circled beating a lot of teams that they haven't yet.
Yeah, well. Fair. Me as well. Okay, so Rashad White, Baltimore versus Tampa. I'm really excited about this game. Rashad White looks like he's going to return, even in a reduced role. It looks like, from what I'm hearing come out of Tampa, is that this is going to be a three-headed monster, and they're all going to get opportunity early and often in the game here. So, not great news for Rashad White owners, but if there's anything that he could do, he could, work his way into that game and prove himself to be the better running back out of those ones, because he's going to have to.
Todd Bowles came out and said he's going to give each one a drive and then go with whoever does the best. No, Mr. Bowles, you're not going to do that. Rashad White is your guy. You're going to go with your guy. I don't believe it for a second.
There you go.
It's Rashad White.
Okay. I'm excited for that then. I definitely need some Rashad White love, even if it's just a little bit. You know what I mean? I need him to get a touchdown. That would be awesome. Now, the Monday night game, there is a big name wide receiver in concussion protocol that practiced today. So, a lot of wide receivers, or like players in general that suffer concussion, definitely miss a week, but it's looking like Marvin Harrison is on the latter stages of, clearing concussion protocol, and he's got a shot to play on Monday night. Unfortunate situation for fantasy managers who are waiting on the Monday night game. If you probably don't have a whole lot of other options in this game if you're waiting on that call. Luckily, I have Marvin Harrison in a league, and I got Ladd McConkey in another one. But I'm almost starting Ladd over Marvin anyhow in that situation, based off the concussion at that stage. But not great news for Marvin, but looking like he might actually play.
Well, good news for a couple of the people that were in our Points After Thursday chat.
Yes. That was a good chat. We had a lot of fun last night. It's been good. Yeah, man. Anything else to report here? I mean, we got a busy weekend of games, and we had a pretty dud of a football game on Thursday night. So hopefully these games can really start off strong by a really strong showing from Drake May, rookie, against the Jags on Sunday morning. Hopefully that's an exciting game, more exciting than the last one.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's pretty terrible.
It was terrible. Yeah, man. That's about does it here. You got anything else to report, bigz, on the injury front?
I can't find the Charger. Where are the Chargers? Oh, wait, what? No, that's not where. What?
The perplexed look on big's face right now says it all.
What? I don't even know what's happening. I'm I'm looking at my chart, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with Ladd McConkey or Marvin Harrison Jr. And I found LAC on the defense side, and then on the opponent, when I go to Arizona, there is no Arizona.
I'm gonna pull an ad up while we wait until you find out your information.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
I didn't scroll down far enough.
Thanks,
Silly me. I didn't scroll down far enough. So Chargers going up against Arizona. Arizona gives up 16.8 points to the slot. And Arizona going up against the Chargers. The Chargers defense allows 15 to wideouts and 11 to the slot. So I'm not 100% that MHJ over Ladd McConkey is where you want to go with that one anyway. So I think you're on the right track, especially if MHJ doesn't play.
There you go. All right, folks. that's it for this week, actually, for us. Other than bigz, tomorrow morning, starting your start and sits right with breakfast with bigz. Half an hour of in-depth, top of the line analysis coming from my man on Sunday mornings. He rolls out of bed, makes himself a breakfast sandwich, and rocks it out.
Coffee.
Sometimes, yeah, coffee.
I take my dog out and then I make some coffee.
And then comes up and then rolls with it.
When do we get the adieu? I was promised a big adieu.
We're still further away.
Dang it! I wanted some.
We're further from that adieu. We're further away from that. Yeah.
Poop.
All right, folks. That's it for this week. Week 7 is going to be in the wraps the next time you hear from us. And it's going to be another week of awesome content, another week of awesome football, big games this week. I'm looking forward to the Bucks and Ravens this week, high scoring game, 2-4-2 teams, and it should be a good one. What game are you looking forward to the most this week?
That one, Bucks and Ravens. And also I'm going to keep a close eye on Miami and New England, just because I love Drake May so much. And then I might watch the first half of the Raiders Rams. We'll see how it goes. I might watch the whole thing.
And then the Super Bowl rematch there. Can't forget about the Chiefs and 49ers.
Nah, I don't care about that one. That could die in a meteor.
From all of us on the Fantasy Forecast and the Fantasy Sports Advice Network, bigz, take us home.
Well, from most of me, unless your name is Jax Falcone or Sean Murphy, we hope you win.
We hope you win, folks. Have a good weekend.